Hey there, comic book community. My name is Joe, and you're watching 360 Comics. Spring has finally sprung, and the weather is getting nicer, which means yard sale season is in full effect. Over the weekend, I attended my first yard sale of the year, and they had a bunch of comic books. Guess what? I took all of them home with me, including one rare book with a low print run and a high price tag that you're not going to want to miss, so stick around. Congrats to Greg Waite for winning this book in our 100th video giveaway here on YouTube. And don't forget, we've got another giveaway going on right now on Instagram to commemorate our 7,000 follower milestone. We're less than 200 followers away, so now is the time to enter if you want to win this book before it's too late. I can totally understand why some people don't like waking up early on a Saturday or Sunday morning when they don't have work, driving over to a stranger's house and standing in their driveway looking at all the old junk that they don't want anymore. But personally, I love yard sales. I think they're a lot of fun, whether you're, buying stuff for yourself, buying stuff to resell, or just looking at the old things that people have lying around that might jog your memory about something that you had when you were a kid. It's just a good time. The weather's usually nice, and you can get outside, walk around a little bit, especially after the last 2 years that we've had cooped up in our houses more often than not. I just think it's a really important thing to get out and about. That being said, there are not very many comics at yard sales. In fact, I've been to dozens, if not hundreds over the years, and I have only picked up comics at a handful. And quite honestly, when there are comics, it's often junk. Fortunately, the first yard sale of this year that I attended, I found some comic books, quite a few of them, in fact, and I'm going to talk about the numbers and everything later, how much I paid, as well as how much I think everything is worth, but it was probably in the range of 600 to 800 comic books, including some slabs, which I was really surprised to see, and like I said, I got a great price, so let's get into what I found. Usually when I do a haul video, the slabs end up at the end because they're often the best books in the bunch, and that is certainly not the case with this collection. I hate to say it because I usually like to be positive, but quite honestly, these slabs are trash. They are probably worth about as much as it costs to slab a book, $30, $35, and I'll be lucky to get that for them. They make cool display pieces, I guess, but they are not super high grade and not super sought after books. And yeah, they're just, I'll show you. We've got Walking Dead. This is the 15th anniversary reprint of issue number 48. Yeah, it's got a cool cover. Yeah, it's a virgin cover as well. And it is a high grade. It's 9.0, but it's not a 9.8 like you want a modern book to be. It is nice and slabbed up, so if you want to hang it on your wall, it'd be something cool to have if you're a Walking Dead fan and like really low value slabs. Guess what? There was also the sketch black and white version of it. Fortunately, a whole grade jump higher to a 9.2 here. Again, just not a lot of value here. I will probably try to sell these off as a set, maybe get $50. I think I'd be happy with $50. So see how they do. I'll put them up in some sales and see what people think about them. And then this one as well. This is another 9.2, another reprint of Walking Dead, this time number 167. Again, a cool cover, but it's not something that people really want in a 9.2, so it is what it is. I guess this guy probably, he seemed like more of a casual collector, so he probably saw a cheap price tag on, a Walking Dead book that he liked and just hopped on it, which, hey, collect what you like. No shame in that, but anyway, let's get these out of the way and get into the better books. I pulled out everything that was $10-ish or more. Like I said, this collection was big. It was 6 to 800 books, but most of it was bulk. Most of it was low-grade stuff that was read. It looks like this guy was probably like kind of just buying from dollar bins and stuff like that, back issues that were on sale. Mostly junkers. But there was some good stuff. I'm going to go through that and again hang around to the end and I'll talk about how much I paid and what I think it's all worth. We've got Invincible Iron Man #1, the Phantom variant here, and this has a price tag of about $10. It's got this awesome sketch cover featuring Pepper Potts, and honestly, if I collected any Iron Man stuff, I would be keeping this book in my personal collection because I think it looks awesome, but I don't. I literally don't have any Iron Man books in the PC, like the actual personal collection. I've got Iron Man spec books and, you know, plenty of Iron Man stuff to sell, but it's just, I try to keep it kind of concise. So this one's going to be up for grabs in a future claim sale. This next one, though, is staying in the personal collection because I love me some Spider-Woman, and this is Spider-Woman #1 from the Spider-Verse run, which I think was 2014, if I remember correctly. It's got a great cover of Spider-Woman and Silk, another character that I really love. So this one staying in the PC. This next one, this is also staying with me, not for the PC, but as a speculation book. This is Fantastic Four #212. It is the the second appearance of Terrax. Terrax is a herald of Galactus. A lot of people are thinking, well, Fantastic Four coming, Galactus has got to be coming, so maybe some of the heralds will end up coming as well. It's got a great Galactus cover as well, and this is a book that Very Gary talks about more the first appearance that he mentions, but you know, the second appearance ties in with that really nicely, and it's just a lower price point book, so I'll be holding on to this at least for a little bit. This next one, another book with some MCU ties. We know this character's coming. She's showing up in Multiverse of Madness, which comes out next month. We've got America Chavez in her own solo run, America. This is issue #2. Now, it's not a key. It's not the issue #1. So, you know, why does it have any value? This print run was really, really low. I don't know exactly what it was. I couldn't find it online, but, you know, it's all about supply and demand. So even when there's not a lot of demand for a book, as long as there's a low supply, it could, you know, boost the value up, and that is the case with this book and a lot of books that have a very low print run. It's got a great cover as well, and the character is coming to the MCU soon. This is not a book that I'm really going to hold on to, not something that I personally collect, so this one will be up for grabs. Another kind of a spec book for the MCU here. We've got Thunderbolts #1. I believe this is volume 3 of Thunderbolts, but in my opinion, it is the coolest team as well as by far the best cover of all the #1s in the Thunderbolts. And this team is Deadpool, Punisher, Red Hulk, and Elektra. Is anyone else there? No, that's it. Anyway, I thought there was another member. But anyway, like I was saying, awesome cover. A lot of people think these characters, or this team rather, is coming to the MCU. We don't know what iteration of the team, so, you know, we'll wait and see if it even happens. Nonetheless, just a really cool looking book. Next one is a book that I have a bunch of copies of already. This one's staying with me for a while. We got, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Aranya? I think it's Aranya. I think that's what the thing over the end means, is put a Y sound there. Aranya? Someone tell me in the comments if I'm pronouncing that right, because I don't speak Spanish, and I believe that is what this is. I think it's Spanish for spider, if I remember correctly, reading that somewhere. But this is not her first appearance. This is her first solo book. What's her name? Anya Corazon, aka Aranya, Heart of the Spider. And yeah, this is a character that there's been a little bit of speculation on, tying in with the Spider-Verse and the all-female team that's been kind of rumored to be showing up at some point. Either way, cool book. You know, cheap buy-in, $10, and you know, I'll be holding on to this one. Then we got Invincible #1, the reprint. This is the free comic book day reprint from, I think, 2019 or 2020. Nonetheless, Invincible has exploded in popularity, and people are picking up, you know, the reprint for about $10, which is awesome. You know, it's great when you know, a book gets priced so high that people are willing to pay over cover price for, you know, a reprint. Obviously, the cover price of this is free, but you know, more than like $5 for a reprint. Next up, this was a random one in here. We got Batman 436, first appearance of Tim Drake, and it's a newsstand. It's got some serious spine ticks, but this book normally is like $15 or so. So, it's a newsstand. It's got some issues, but a nice pickup nonetheless. Not mad about that at all. Another newsstand here from the 90s, Warlock and the Infinity Watch #1. This book spiked like crazy last year when we got the Warlock news about the casting, but has since calmed down, but still holds a value of kind of about $10, $12. And I think it does have potential to go up again. If we ever see an Infinity Watch team, or maybe even just once we see Warlock on the screen, people want to pick up his runs, his stories, and things like that. So this next one is video game oriented, well, PC game, I should say. StarCraft #1. I'm not sure about this, but I think this is actually the first StarCraft comic. I was actually kind of surprised that didn't happen until 2009 when this came out. And if I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comments below, because this is the earliest StarCraft that I could find, but I didn't look for very long. Anyway, StarCraft #1 from Wildstorm. Then we've got a Marvel UK comic. We got Death's Head Gold, and this is a nice thick book with a foil cover. Very shiny, very 90s. When did this come out? 1994. And it sells for about $10. These UK comics, most of them are just stuff that people stay away from, especially like the 90s UK stuff. But I guess this is one that people like to pick up because of the cool cover. It does look awesome. Death's Head, I guess that's the character's name. It looks to me like a Predator, one of the Predator alien guys. But maybe I'm wrong about connecting that, but that's what it looks like to me. Next up, these are like $15 books. X-Force #1, and you're probably thinking, why is X-Force #1 a $15 book? You can find these in dollar bins a lot of the time. It's polybagged, but that doesn't really mean too much. This is polybagged with the card in the back, and the card is Deadpool. When the card is Deadpool, this book sells for about $15. Any other card, it's $5 or less. But the Deadpool one, that gets you a premium because Deadpool is kind of the premier character that was out around this time. And I believe it was, if I remember correctly, the first Deadpool card ever printed. So people call that his rookie card, even though, not sports, but the first card of the character printed. I think that is the case. But don't quote me on that, because I'm not a Marvel card guy or comic related cards. These next two, I was surprised to see them, and I think he was buying Walmart packs based upon what some of the other stuff in this collection was. A lot of books that I've seen in Walmart packs before, and I know this book came in Walmart packs. It's selling for about $15 though. This is Superman, Son of Kal-El #1, and it's the aged up Jonathan Kent, taking on the role of Earth's Superman while I think his dad's like out in space doing something. And it's got a Superman homage cover for Superman #1, which just broke a massive record this week, becoming the highest selling comic book of all time at like 5.4 million, I think. And like I said, there was 2 copies of this book, which no complaints on a $15 book. I'm cool with that. Next, we got Mark Spector, Moon Knight #4. This is one of the keys from the early part of this run. First appearance of Midnight, not Midnight Man. Don't get this confused with Moon Knight Volume 1, #3, which is the first Midnight Man. That character appears in the show. This Midnight was kind of like a sidekick, kind of like the Robin of Moon Knight. A lot of people relate Moon Knight to Batman. I don't know if I like that comparison, but, think of Midnight as his Robin. And sidekick character. Will we see that character show up in the MCU? Who knows? But, just a nice Moon Knight key. And a newsstand from the 90s. Not bad. Oh, I love this cover. This is so cool. And this might end up staying in the PC. I'm not sure about that. I don't collect a lot of Star Wars stuff, despite loving Star Wars. but this cover is just too great. We got Darth Maul #1, the first Darth Maul solo book, and or it might not be his first solo book, but it's definitely his first solo book with Marvel. He might have had one at Dark Horse, but I forget. Anyway, awesome cover. I don't think there's any like first appearances or anything in this, but Star Wars stuff is so hot right now, and Darth Maul is such a fan favorite character. This book sells for about $20, but it's got some condition issues, so it's probably worth more, like $15. Then we've got a weird one, and this book, I knew what it was as soon as I saw it, but only because I saw it in another YouTuber's video a couple months ago, and I wish I could give them a shout out, but I forget who it was. We got Marvel Now, .1, #1. This is the first cover appearance of America Chavez. Now, you're probably wondering where she is. She's actually on one of these comic books. I believe it's that one right there. So it's a very small cover appearance, but it is her first cover appearance. And this book sells for $20 to $25 because of that. She's coming out in the movie next month. I think she's going to be a character that sticks around in the MCU. So we'll see what happens with this book. It could be a cool one to pick up, and I bet there are copies of this book in dollar bins places because you just pass over it. You know, it doesn't look like anything super special other than being a pretty cool cover. This next book, and these last three, these are all the more higher value stuff. This book has been selling, kind of peaked around $50, but has calmed down to kind of like 35 to 40. This is Darth Vader #1. The first appearance of Black Chrysanthemum. Again, a fan favorite Star Wars character who just showed up for the first time in, live action Star Wars lore, canon, whatever you want to call it, in Book of Boba Fett. I think that character is not done. I am pretty sure, I would, I don't want to say I would bet on it, but I'm feeling that Black Chrysanthemum is going to show up in Obi-Wan because if you didn't know, a lot of his backstory has to do with Obi-Wan, including Obi-Wan giving him a scar, his facial scar. So I think that character is going to show up again, and that's why they introduced him in Book of Boba. So this is a great one to have. Not only has it gone up in value because of the appearance, but I think it has potential to go up even more if the character shows up and is a bigger part of the Obi-Wan show. This next one, low print run. Not the lowest, though. Wait till the last book. This is the second to last. We're getting spicier here. We got God Country, a Donny Cates book from Image Comics. You might be thinking, this doesn't look like God Country #1. It is, but it's the fourth printing of the book. I guess that it was also the last printing, and usually it's the lowest print run. And that is the case here. There are estimated to be less than 4,500 of these. So a very small print run, certainly less than 5,000, probably less than 4,500. It's a hard book to get. Donny Cates is, super popular right now. So people like to collect a lot of his stuff. This book sells for about $40, fair market value. And, I almost passed over it the first time because I know what God Country 1, cover A first print looks like, but I was not aware of this variant. I thought it was a different number. Then I saw, oh, this is #1. Might be a variant. I looked it up on Key Collector, and I was like, $40. That's great. Did not know about this one beforehand. Same with this last one. I thought, again, that this was just a variant when I first saw it, but it is not. It is the second printing of Swordmaster #1. This character has gone up in popularity and value since becoming the new Iron Fist in the comic run, and a lot of people are thinking that's what they might do in the MCU in order to get a new Iron Fist, because the Netflix Iron Fist was not very popular, kind of flopped, especially compared to the other Netflix shows. That being said, this is the second print of the book. There are only 1,300, not 13,000, 1,389 copies that were ordered by retailers. So this was a very low print run, second print of the book, and it's a different cover than the first print. So this is the only way you can get this cover is the second print, and like I said, less than 1,400 of these, I guess, exist or were ordered. So, probably a lot of them got trashed, thrown away. I bet this is another book that it's few and far between, but it's going to be in dollar bins places because people aren't going to realize the rarity or the significance of this book. Has a fair market value of about $150. And let's get to the monetary aspect of this. I ended up, asking him how much he wanted, and he said, "I've been asking $200 for everything." Another guy asked for everything, and the first guy, I guess, said no, 200's too much. So he said, "You know what? I'll take an offer at this point. I'm willing to get rid of it." And I threw him $100. I said, $100 is my offer. The slabs really aren't worth very much. And, I didn't realize that some of these better books were in here. I thought, it was probably $250 to $300 worth of value for the keys, and then a lot of bulk, which is, more of a pain than it is good. But fortunately, there was a couple bigger books, this and this, that I didn't realize were of more value than I thought they were. So I paid $100 for everything. I think, an optimistic estimate is $500 for kind of everything that I showed here, plus some of the $5 keys that weren't in the video. But then there's all that bulk as well. So there's certainly more than $500 in total value, but a lot of it's going to sit for a while. I think realistically, in a short period of time, I should be able to easily, somewhere between triple and quadruple my money, get between $300 and $400 back in a short period of time. This is obviously a great book because if I sell this at market value, I've already hit a profit just selling one book out of the 600 to 800 that were in there. Let's hope for more yard sales like this over the course of the spring and summer. And I wish all of you good luck in your hunt at the yard sales. I did not have my camera with me, so I didn't get any footage there, but I plan to do that for future yard sales. I'll make sure that I have my GoPro with me when I go out hunting. I promise I'm going to get some more on location footage. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're not yet, and leave a comment down below. Tell me about your best yard sale find that you've ever had. I love hearing stories like that. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.